I'm going to teach you how to make a Google form quiz. So to find forms, you go up here to the waffle and you find the word form. So it should have a purple piece of paper. If you can't find it there, you can scroll down. It's right there, so I'm going to click on it and it will bring me to Google Forms. Now you can also come up here and just search Google Forms and you'd be able to find it that way too. Okay, I'm making a quiz, so click on blank quiz at the top. And there's going to be a lot of things you can do with this. I'm just going to show you a very basic way to make a quiz. Okay, you're going to give it a title. So in my example, I'm going to pretend like we are studying the legislative branch and that we're studying for an upcoming test. So legislative branch questions. Legislative branch, how about review questions? All right, so I've got my title, and this will all automatically save as I go through. Okay, I'm going to put the title here. Legislative branch, review questions. All right, you can put some directions here if you want. I think that this will be, I think people will know what to do. Okay, so here I'm going to have a question. I do want to come over here and I want to choose multiple choice. You can see that there's a lot of different things you can choose. You can even upload a file. You can do like short answer, drop down boxes, check boxes. A lot of things you can do. This button here, if you were to push it, would allow you to upload an image from Google Drive. That always works well if you're doing like maps. But we are going to need to do multiple choice. And I'm going to make you have 4 choices, like an A, B, C, and D. And one of those choices could be all of the above are correct. Sorry, all choices are correct, or none of the choices are correct. Okay. So right here is where we write the question. I want to pick questions that I think will be on the upcoming test. So one question I might ask is, who about which person below is a U.S. Senator from Missouri? Which person below is a U.S. Senator from Missouri? So I could have one of the choices be Sam Graves, which is not one of the answers. I could have my next one be Roy Blunt, which is the answer. I might pick like Mike Pence. He's the vice president. That's not the answer. And I'm going to put none of the choices are correct. All right, so I have my 4 choices. These can be jumbled up, so that's why I like putting none of the choices are correct instead of all of the above are incorrect. So I now am going to make an answer key. So I'm going to click over here where it says answer key. I'm going to push this button here because this is going to be worth 1 point. And it says, which person below is a U.S. Senator from Missouri? The answer is going to be Roy Blunt, so I'm going to click here. I can also add some feedback. So if I click here where it says add answer feedback, I could put something like, if this were an incorrect answer, I could put Sam Graves is in the House of Representatives. Mike Pence is the vice president. Roy Blunt is a U.S. Senator from Missouri. I can even put an attachment or a video. So if I needed to have like a tutorial or something, I could do that. Or like I said, an attachment like from Google Drive. And then if I wanted to do something for correct answers, so if they answered Roy Blunt correct, I could put Great job. Smiley face. And again, I could also put an attachment of some sort or a video. Just make sure that you're being school appropriate and that all of this is going to make sense in the end and be something that one could see on the test. Push save. Now, even though your feedback is popping up here, it won't when they actually take the test. Whenever they take the little test you made up, the feedback won't pop up until after they submit their answer. You can see that Roy Blunt has been selected as the correct answer. That's why there's a little green check there. And of course, whenever they take the real thing, that won't pop up. It'll all be white. Okay. So I'm done with this question. So I'm going to click done. I am going to require this question. So I'm going to click this little button here. It'll turn purple, and that means they have to try to answer this question. So do turn that purple. Yeah, I am ready to add another question. If your question is something you want to have a picture for, like if you need a map or something, you'd push this mountain picture. If you wanted to have like video, you can click the play button. There's a lot of different things you can do. I usually end up just pushing this plus sign, which is to add a question. Now, I can move this question above this. So if I want to have this question first, I just click and drag, and that will move it around. So now this is my first question. Okay, and the senator question goes second now. So then I want to think of another question, and I can type it up here. And so I'll come up with that one. If I want to preview this, then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click this eyeball. It's going to let me see a preview. So I'm going to click here. And you can see that I haven't created this question yet, and that's why it says option 1. This is exactly what your classmates would see if they were to open up your Google form. Which person below is a U.S. Senator from Missouri? I can see that here's my choices that I wrote. I would click Roy Blunt. I'd click submit, but I'm not doing that right now. So if I click this X up here, I'll bring you back to the screen I was on. Yes, I do want to leave. All right, so that's what the preview looks like. And it's the best thing you can do is preview this before you actually get finished with it, because then you can catch mistakes. And I do make some silly mistakes on these as well. And so it is good to preview it a few times before you're done with it. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and trash this question. To trash this question, I'm going to push this trash can, and away it goes. Okay? Because I don't want to make up too many questions that you might want. If you mess up and say, I accidentally added another option, I didn't want another option, if you come over here, you just push the X, and that option will disappear for you. But really, yeah, that's just the main stuff about how to make up questions on a Google form. Let's look at some of the settings. Okay, up here is to customize the theme. So if you don't like this purple color, and let's say you're really wanting it to be like a red color, or you want to change this color too, that's fine. The plus sign will allow you to customize your color. This lets you customize your font, but I do ask that you keep it easy to read. So playful and formal don't look too bad. Basic, of course, is fine. You can even choose a heading image. So let's say I'm just really liking some of these images here, maybe the bubbles or whatever that's supposed to be. I could click on it, and I could insert that, and that will change this heading up here. Okay. If I don't like that, I push X, and then I can choose my image again. And there's a bunch of different things here. You can even upload your own, but don't spend a ton of time on this. Like, make sure you get your questions done first before you mess with the actual look of it. So a lot of options. I just clicked on travel over on the left side. I brought up all these options. I was hoping I could get something that dealt with government, but I don't see anything with government there. So, got illustrations. A lot of really cool ones that you can choose from. I think the US flag looks good. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click insert. There, that looks nice. Okay. Now, again, this automatically saves. We need to come up here to the gear where it says settings. Click here. And everyone will need to do this. I want you to click collect email addresses. That means everyone that answers now will be connected to their email address. So you can see who submitted what. We can tell exactly who submitted the answers. And also click response receipts. We want them to get a copy of their responses sent to their email. And we want that to always happen. And so we need to click that dot. So make sure you click collect email addresses, response receipts, and always. We are going to restrict this to make-in users, and we are going to, you don't need to limit it to one response. That's up to you if you want to do that. And you can choose if you want them to be able to edit it after they submit it. So that's up to you, okay? I usually don't mess with it any further. You can if you want. There's something that says presentation. If you want to do any of this, you can as well. This would shuffle your questions, so it wouldn't always be, so the question would always be first. That question I made might be the third on someone's, and someone else's it might be the sixth question. You can also show progress bars if you want, so you can choose that as well. And here's what it looks like under quizzes. I don't usually mess with any of that. And then I click save. If you don't click save, it won't save. And again, if you were wondering what it looks like, you can always push the preview button. And again, it will bring you to that preview. And you can even take your own little quiz to make sure you have your answer key correct. So I know there's a lot of moving parts to this. That's why I highly suggest you play this video kind of towards the beginning and just step by step with the video, create one of your questions. Once you've made a question or two, you'll be fine and you'll be able to make it. Now, once people start taking your quiz, you'll want to see the responses. So to see the responses, you'll go over here and you'll click this response button. Now, I obviously don't have any responses, but eventually I would, and it would have whoever took the quiz and then their score. Okay, so you can see how your people did on your quiz. If I click on questions, it brings me back to the questions I made. All right, so when I'm ready to put this on my website, here is what we'll do. So pretend like this is finished, and I'm ready to go. I got all my questions. Go to Google Class. You're going to go to your Google site. So click the waffle and go to Google Sites. Again, if you can't find the Google site icon, then you can always type that in up here. Once you get there, you got to find your Google site over government. Make sure you're on the legislative branch page. Scroll down. All right, so we're going to make another text box. So I'm going to click here because that's the last thing I had. And you're going to put this under your videos. So underneath the last video, you're going to put a text box. And I'm going to call this my review questions. So you need to make that text box as well, and you need to pop the words review question into that text box. Then you can mess with the color and the font. That's up to you. I like to have mine similar. So I'm going to put the red background in. Scroll up a little bit. So I push this, I might push on the red. And I like it to be nice and consistent, so I'm going to make sure that these letters are the same size here as they are up here. Click on the letters, and let's try heading. Oh, that's too big. Try subheading. There. Okay. And I think I want a divider as well. You don't have to do divider, you can choose. So I'm going to click on the word divider. And again, I just click on it and I pull it up. Oops. There we go. I have to make sure I get that little arrow thing, and then I pull it up. Okay, that way I have a divider between my videos and my questions. I just think that looks nice. You don't have to have a divider if you don't want to. All right, now I'm going to put my little quiz underneath. So I need to insert from my drive. So make sure you're on insert, click on drive. Once you are on drive, you are going to find the little quiz you just made on the Google form. So I'm going to click the magnifying glass. Once I click the magnifying glass, I can actually type in the name of my quiz. Remember, my little quiz is called Legislative Branch Review Questions. So I'm going to type that in. And there it is. So I'm going to click on it. And then down here at the bottom, I have to click the word insert. And it will put it right there. That'll be an easy way to attach it. All right, I can make this smaller if I'd like. So to do that, I just go over to this blue dot. I make sure I get this arrow, and then I just pull it in. It will bring it to the closest vertical line, and people will be able to click on this quiz and take it. Now, as I said in the past, nothing is done on your Google site until you click publish. So click publish. It'll give you a preview. You don't have to wait for it to show. Click publish again. Now everyone else can see that. If you don't click publish, other people cannot see your work that you've updated on your website. Okay, go over here to the computer and just do a quick preview. Make sure you like how it looks. Make sure you can click on it. I'm going to scroll down, just make sure my website looks okay. Now you cannot edit from this screen, but you can click on videos and your little quizzes. So I should be able to click on this right here, and it should just bring me right to the quiz, and it does. All right. And of course, you're going to have more than one question. Now, if I want to go back and edit it, because maybe there's a mistake, maybe I don't like the size of this box or whatever it might be, if I click this X here, it will exit the preview, and it will bring me right back to where I was so I can edit. All right, let me know if you have any questions.